for joining us as we bring you this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Doris Burke, Mark Kellogg, and Steve Kerr. This is Kevin Harlan. And our State Farm starting lineups. Here's a look. First for the Magic, Nelson and Richardson are manning the backcourt. And it's Dwight Howard locking down the middle. He's a superstar, no doubt. And what a huge boost for this team, night in and night out. Then it's Hedo Turkoglu, and it's Bass in at the 4 slot. And then for the Indiana Pacers, Collison is out there with Paul George. And filling the bay, it's the big man, Roy Hibbert. They look to him to provide that necessary presence down low. Then there's Danny Granger, and it's Hansbrough in at the 4.
Well, for the Magic, it was another good season a year ago, and they took advantage of some of the weaker teams in the Eastern Conference. In fact, they were able to get 36 wins against East foes.
And it's going to be the Magic off the tip. Now, here is Nelson. Picked up by Collison. Nelson against Collison.
I got him.
Collison against Nelson. 4 on the clock.
Shooting for Jameer Nelson, taking 2 shots.
And the first one drops. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
Well, the Pacers historically have always been tough on their home court, and last season was no different. 24-17 in Indianapolis. One of the reasons the Pacers made the playoffs.
Hibbert dishes to George. All sorts of time. Can't hit, so Orlando will take it the other way. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Kevin, he told me that they'll be looking to keep things moving quickly on the offensive end in order to negate some of their opponent's shot blocking skills. He feels that if they can keep them on the move and off balance, they'll be able to keep their leapers from turning away shots. Guys?
Wonderful stuff, Doris. Thanks. What approach to use against the opposing D, I guess, in the front of their minds, it sounds like, Clark.
Yeah, well, it's a tall task when you take on a team as sound defensively as they are, so you just have to be sharp in your execution.
Steve?
Yeah, you got to be sharp, but you also have to attack. I mean, if you're not aggressive against this team, they're going to take control of you, and all of a sudden, they'll have control of the game.
Well, Clark, you know all about this Indiana team being in their front office. Dead last in attendance last season, averaging just a little over 13,000 fans. But the team gave the diehard fans something to care about with the playoff experience.
Yeah, they certainly did, and hopefully that'll catapult more fans into coming back to Conseco. In 2001, the team averaged almost 18,000 fans. If the team gets back to contention, you know Indiana loves basketball, and those fans will be back.
Shot on the wing. Here's Richardson, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Roy Hibbert picks one up.
It's good defense. Don't let a guy get a lay-in, foul hard, and send him to the free throw line.
Yeah, I like that billboard there, sending a message. You can't come in here and get anything free in our paint.
The first one falls.
Well, I tell you, Jason Richardson was having what I thought was a strong season for the Suns last year, but things went a bit south when he was traded over to the Orlando Magic.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe. Clark, going back to Richardson, he went from 19 points a game to around 14 points after the trade, so you're right on that one. Steve, did the change in his production surprise you at all?
Not really, Kevin, because he went from playing with Steve Nash to Dwight Howard, and it's a different style. And you're going to get some open looks off of the double team of Dwight Howard, but there's nothing like playing with Steve Nash. You're playing a high pace. You're getting open look after open look in transition and in the half court. There's no better player to feed off of in the NBA than Steve Nash.
Indiana off to a slow start. Looking for their first basket of the game. Collison against Nelson. Outside Collison. Guarded by Nelson. Granger for the three to stop the drought. And George with the stuff.
Well, we'll see if that shot breaks things open a little bit. It's been a slow start.
Hopefully that gets them on the right track here, Steve.
Here's Nelson. Picked up by Collison. Now Nelson dishes it to Turkoglu. Fires, high post. Hibbert pulls it in.
And the defense got away with a major lapse there.
Howard against Collison. Granger misses. Magic leading by 5. Slammed in by Richardson.
He threw down that 360 like it was no problem at all. That's insane skill.
The guys on the bench are just falling all over themselves.
Yeah, they loved
one of the plays of the year, possibly.
And as always, that was our Sprite Slam Cam giving us the up-close and personal replay. Collison against Nelson. Goes up on the high post. Indiana again missing. Picked up by Collison. Collison against Nelson. 6 on the shot clock. Over Collison. Nelson, no luck.
Well, that's a really good look, but even as good a shooter as he is, they're not all going to fall.
George with the ball. Lets it go with a 3. It's rebounded by Bass. About 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter of the game. Turkoglu outside. And Granger picks him up defensively. Tipped. Backing down is Howard. Over Collison. A huge bounce off the rim before it falls.
Boy, really nice job to take what the defense was giving him there.
Pacers trail by 9. Clark, their offense has been great.
Yeah, I love the way they've looked. Really strong and together.
Yeah, very aggressive, too. Keeping the defense off balance with their ball movement. I like the way they look.
So the Pacers called timeout, their first of the game.
Now the Magic made a sweeping change last December. They were able to move Rashard Lewis and Vince Carter and bring in Hedo Turkoglu, Jason Richardson, Gilbert Arenas. It's not often you see a strong team like that tinker with their roster halfway through the season.
George Hills subbed in for Darren Collison. And a change for the Magic. Anderson's checked in. Here's Hibbert. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Outside Hill. On the wing, Granger. It's back to Hill. Guarded by Nelson. Good. He hits the jump shot. Here's Turkoglu. Under 7 minutes left to play in the first quarter. And Granger picks him up defensively. Turkoglu against Granger. Howard kicks to Turkoglu. And stolen by Granger.
What a great job playing the passing lane.
And Hansbrough slams it in.
Well, they really look to run immediately after that turnover.
Well, that's how you cash in. You don't want to waste any time after the turnover. Go at it right away.
Nelson, the pass to Howard. Jams it straight down.
I think they gave him a little too much room there. I mean, that was all he needed to rise up and punch that one down.
Yeah, he's going to jump at those chances, guys.
Yeah, that's what he does. He is a high flyer.
Granger outside. A three-pointer is right on target. Granger's got his first 3 points of the game. And here's Turkoglu. Howard dishes to Turkoglu. Kicks it to Anderson. Here's Nelson. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Nelson against Hill. Here's Rush. Hansbrough inside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Hill. And there are the Pacers with another bucket. Here's Turkoglu. Right around 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Granger covering. Deep two from Anderson. And the rebound goes to the Pacers.
Not a bad look, though. You like his chances to make that one.
You sure do, but he can't hit them all.
Granger kicks to Hibbert. Turkoglu picks him up. Hibbert gets the bucket. Hibbert's got his first 2 points.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
And now the first timeout called here for the Magic.
You know, I think it was really exciting for this Pacers team getting into the postseason last year for the first time in 5 years, guys. I mean, the youth helped as we saw the passion come out in that Game 4 win against the Bulls. And I thought they competed very well in that series and have some promise going forward.
Some changes for Indiana. Jeff Foster's checked in for Hibbert. And Josh McRoberts subbed in for Tyler Hansbrough. Then for the Magic, Redick comes in for Jason Richardson. And Gilbert Arenas subbed in for Jameer Nelson.
Hey, right here.
Here's Arenas. Turkoglu outside. Outside Arenas. And they get it. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. That one is on Rush. Clark, I agree with you. You know, brought the Pacers making it into the postseason. They were the 8th seed, but really did a good job against a very talented Chicago team, Steve.
Yeah, very tough opponents. Anytime you're going up in that first round against a team like the Bulls as an 8th seed, you get to see what a team like that's made of. And I think that young Pacers squad really accounted for itself in a good way in that playoff run. We'll see if they can take advantage and really have a good season this year.
Guys, you know it's never easy to win on the road, but the Orlando Magic found a way last year as they finished with one of the best road records in the Eastern Conference.
And both free throws good for Arenas. Well, Clark, you're right. They were 23-18 away from Orlando. Steve, that was one of the best road records in the NBA.
Yeah, and that's impressive. They've got a beautiful new facility there in Orlando, the Amway Center. They're a good home team, but the fact that they won consistently on the road was very impressive.
Just 5 on the clock. Dwight Howard pulls it in.
He's really struggling in this quarter right now. They need to think about getting the ball out of his hand.
Here's Redick. Arenas against Hill. A 3 from Anderson. Once again off the mark, Orlando.
I like the defense, guys, really getting a hand up and challenging shots.
Yeah, Steve, lurking on that shot, and that was a tough one.
Here's Redick. Arenas. Granger covering. From the arc. Gets it to go. Arenas has got 5 points so far.
They love to see him aggressive like that when he's on the floor, especially when the defense gives him room.
It's Hill on the wing. He's covered by Arenas. Granger for the 3. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. 6 points for Danny Granger.
You know, he seemed a bit cold. The shots haven't been falling for him early on.
And what I love about Danny Granger is he's really good at both ends of the floor. A versatile defender. He can rebound. And, of course, offensively, he's dynamic. Nice soft touch to drop that one in.
Hill passes to McRoberts. Now Foster. And it's Howard picking him up. And Foster kicks to Rush. Granger outside. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line. It's on Hedo Turkoglu. You know, the one thing that's held Danny Granger back early in his career, he's had some injury issues to deal with.
Yeah, he has, but last season I thought he was pretty healthy, and he carried the burden for the Pacers offensively. If he can get a little help in that area, though, I think it would serve him very well. Danny Granger, Kevin, grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, and after Hurricane Katrina, as you might imagine, he did a lot to help that town and also help a lot of his family members, too.
And he makes both free throws. Going back to Danny Granger, Steve, he moved about 17 of his family members up to Indiana. Got a big house, moved in with him.
Wow.
And there's the pass to Redick. Hill against Arenas. And here's Anderson from the arc. And again, it's Orlando with a 3.
You know, he's a rarity in the NBA, guys. A big man who can launch it from deep.
Timeout called the Pacers.
Larry Bird and David Morway putting some pieces together. A nice core group of young, hard-working, talented players. Now you just, with some salary cap room there, perhaps you can add a piece or two to elevate your talent base and your experience level. Being patient, not taking shortcuts. They're headed in the right direction.
Good place to play.
Yeah.
Collison kicks to George. Back to Collison. They're moving the ball. Clock at 6. Knocks it down from 19 feet. Here is Arenas. 5 points in the game. He's covered by Collison. George against Richardson. Over Collison. Great D that time from Collison. Now Hill. The feed to McRoberts. Collison kicks to George. The shot's good. Collison making the play. George has got 5. Just 4 seconds left to play in the first. From deep. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Magic lead by 4.
Well, they've been getting to the foul line here an awful lot. The aggressive play really paying off.
Yeah, and you know what? It also helps to put the mute button on the crowd. I mean, when you methodically score at the line, that can put those fans on their hands.
More great action when we return. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. Here's Collison. And it's Nelson picking him up. Collison kicks to Hill. Back to Collison. Shot denied. Magic leading by 4. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, for Brandon Bass last season, a career high in minutes, it was all based on Stan Van Gundy telling him that his playing time would be determined by how well he defended and rebounded, and he answered the bell. Van Gundy said he's done exactly what they wanted, adding, he's passing it more and more willing. He'll score, that's who he is. But his mind needs to be on his defense and rebounding, and I think he's worked very, very hard at that. Guys?
He's done a great job. Thanks, Doris.
And Kevin, I think the strong play of Bass was one reason the Magic felt comfortable trading away Rashard Lewis. Bass is a quality NBA power forward.
Pacers trail by 4. Outside Hill. Collison against Nelson. Collison kicks to Hansbrough. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Hansbrough's got 4 points now in the quarter.
What a marvelous job they've done of sharing the basketball. A ton of assists.
Well, they know where each other is all the time. They're moving the ball, just finding the open guy. Nobody seems to care who scores.
Wide open look. The rebound by Hansbrough. Hansbrough's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Outside Collison. George against Nelson. 18 feet away. And Hansbrough slams it in. Hansbrough's got 8 points. Here is Nelson. He's covered by Collison. Feeds to Richardson. Now here's Bass. Shoots from the elbow. Offensive rebound. Tries again. And he finishes on the layup. Anderson's got his second bucket.
Well, those are like 3 points. I mean, great effort. Stay with the play. Continue to fight.
Hill kicks to George. Collison inside. Guarded by Nelson. 4 on the shot clock. The 3 is launched. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
He can be dangerous from out there. As a matter of fact, he can be lethal. His first from the arc after having none in the first quarter. Keep an eye on him. I think Darren Collison is penciled in as the Pacers point guard of the future, and with blazing speed and a really insatiable appetite for the game, the future's bright for him.
Time call here. The Magic decide to talk it over. Well, Darren Collison's shooting percentages fell back to earth a bit last season following his scintillating rookie season. But, Steve, he's still plenty dangerous offensively.
Well, he's so quick, and he can get around his defender at will, and he's added that jump shot. He's gotten much better with that shot. So Darren Collison, a guy who can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Story of Victoria's Secret. That's what you should keep. Never mistake kindness for weakness. If you feel the heat in the kitchen, or just washing dishes, or tuition, with big dreams and wishes, don't stop to listen. Just keep trying.
Some changes for Indiana. Hibbert comes in for Jeff Foster, and it's Granger in for George Hill. The Magic also changing it up. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Anderson. Turkoglu comes in for Quentin Richardson, and it's Richardson in for J.J. Redick. Here is Howard. He's got 6. Uses both hands to slam it down.
He is truly a special offensive talent, and he's always going to cash in on those kind of chances.
Here's Collison. There's the dish to Hansbrough. On the wing, Granger, defended by Turkoglu. And Hansbrough kicks to Collison. Great ball movement. Pass to George. Shot clock at 6. 3-pointer. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
Well, another uncontested 3 there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open 3s.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide open 3-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up 1, but you start giving 3-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble. Coming back with a 3 of their own, I like that. Good response.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. This is a team that will not back down. I mean, I'm not surprised to see them answer that way.
Granger, he's guarded by Howard. And then Hibbert with the dunk.
Beautiful play there, absorbing the contact and going to the free throw line for 1.
Boy, I like the concentration he showed there. He knew he was going to get hit, but kept his eye on the hoop. Now he has a chance at a 3-point play.
Free throw, good. Hibbert.
You know, Roy Hibbert was taken 17th by the Pacers back in 2008. Granger was the 17th pick in 2005. Both have proven to be good acquisitions for Indiana.
He passes to Richardson. Latrey. It's rebounded by Indiana. Hansbrough's got his 5th rebound in this one. Back to Hibbert, Clark, a 7-2 pivot. He's got soft hands, rebounds, can score inside, and has a nice hook shot. And Steve, you even were telling me before the game he can even step back for a jumper that you would respect.
Yeah, he can knock it down from long range, Kevin. And he's an underrated passer, too. The Pacers really ran a lot of offense through him. So this is a young kid who's really developing into a solid center in this league.
Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over.
You know, the Magic trying some different techniques last year. One was a shadowing drill that helped improve the conditioning of a lot of the Magic players. Basically, 2 players were tethered, and the offensive guy had to lose the defender. Interesting strategy, a way to try to get ready for the season.
Here's Nelson. Clark, you mentioned that drill, and you find that very interesting. I know it paid off as the Magic were one of the better conditioned teams, Steve, in the NBA.
Man, before he was traded to Washington, Rashard Lewis remarked that drill in particular kind of lets you see who wanted it and who didn't on that roster. Just a very, very exhaustive exercise.
Boy, nice job to get his hand in there and knock that ball loose without fouling.
Fires from deep. Gets it to go. And it's a 7-point Pacer lead.
Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
Hibbert on the double team. Looking to end the run. Passes shot. Good.
I like his composure there under pressure as he was being double teamed. Terrific pass.
Collison dishes to Granger. Back to Collison. He feeds it to Granger. He dishes it to Hansbrough. Passes it to Hibbert. 5 on the clock. Collison kicks to Hansbrough. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Collison's got his 4th assist in this one.
Well, after a slow first quarter, he's starting to pick it up a bit here.
Nelson against Collison. And it's Dwight Howard with the finish. Check it out here again with the Sprite Slam Cam.
Now that's just rubbing it in, fellas.
Throwing it down with style.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
Pacers leading by 5. Collison with it. He's got 5. And it's Nelson picking him up. Collison, the pass to George. Over Richardson. And again, it's Indiana converting.
I think their only hope now, Clark, is to slow him down with a double team.
Well, they got to stop the bleeding, put the tourniquet on, and she's been tough to play straight up.
From deep, Turkoglu. It's rebounded by Indiana. Outside Collison. Hibbert dishes to Hansbrough. Dishes to Collison. Goes straight up. It counts. And it's a 9-point Pacer lead.
He didn't get off to much of a start early on, but seems to have shaken off the rust here in the quarter.
Richardson against Collison. It's taken away by Collison.
Great defensive work right there. The quick hands lead to the turnover. Defense wasn't able to get back fast enough to contest.
Well, they were caught flat-footed after committing the turnover that time, guys.
Here's Nelson. He's covered by Collison. Collison against Nelson. Over Granger, and Nelson gets it to go. Here's Collison. He has 7. Back to Hibbert. Working on Howard. Hibbert against Howard. Hibbert kicks to Collison. Just 5 to shoot. And it's Nelson picking him up. Takes a 3. And the Pacers another 3.
Man, the offense just gets hotter and hotter.
And they are really cooking now. You know what I like to say? You can microwave or you can cook with electricity or gas. When you're that hot, you're cooking with gas.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, one interesting storyline is that Stan Van Gundy knows that his body language can be a bit of a distraction at times. He said he's working on minimizing it in timeouts, but knows it will be a challenge. Quote, I've tried not to show as much frustration during the game and sit there and grab my head and all that. I'm still not great at it. I'm trying to get better. Aren't we all, Kevin?
Thank you, Doris. Hard for some coaches to contain their emotions at times.
Yeah, Stan is a really funny guy, though. I mean, he's just naturally very animated, but I can see how he'd want to maybe curb it a little bit.
Well, last season, Dwight Howard became the first player in league history to win the Defensive Player of the Year award 3 consecutive seasons. Kevin, that's absolutely amazing.
And to change here for the Pacers. Nick Roberts is checked in. The Magic also changing it up. Ryan Anderson, who's checked in for Bass. And Gilbert Arenas subbed in for Jameer Nelson. You're right on that defense, Clark. He is something else. He has actually seen a lot of firsts in his time in the league. He's also the first player ever to lead the league in total rebounds. Steve, for 5 consecutive seasons.
Well, he's so dominant, and the thing he did last season with Orlando is he added to his low post game. He became a better scorer down on the block, and that's going to have to continue. That type of improvement offensively to make him tougher and tougher to cover.
Howard with a screen on George. George against Arenas. Unloads. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Big trade last year between Orlando and Washington. Gilbert Arenas going from the Wizards to the Magic, and I think it was a good move for him. He had a lot of baggage there in D.C. He needed a new team to go to, and he went to Orlando and became a nice role player for them.
That free throw, no good.
You know, in Arenas, more so than any controversy, I mean, in my opinion, his knee issues have been what's hampered his career the most. I mean, once he was one of the most elusive and effective scorers in the NBA. Now he has to rely more on his outside shot.
And the second free throw, good.
And for Gilbert Arenas, you wonder, will he ever be able to return to the form that made him an all-star? He's had so many knee problems. He's beyond his prime now and still fighting to return to form.
Right here. Hibbert kicks to Granger. Kicks it to George. And stolen by Richardson.
You know, he got a fingertip on it, but not enough to control the pass coming in that fast.
The pass to Collison. Gilbert Arenas covering. Outside Collison. Backing down is Hibbert. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
You know, and for Arenas, it's a matter of really adapting his game as best he can at this point. I mean, 3 knee surgeries later, he's not going to be able to explosively penetrate like he once did. I mean, so the big scoring numbers may not be there, but he has to be efficient and smarter in how he gets his shots.
And another shot. Howard. Pacers leading by 9. George passes to Granger. Turkoglu outside. Picked up by Hibbert. Turkoglu dishes to Arenas. Back to Turkoglu. And stolen by Hibbert.
They find themselves in a pretty good-sized hole here, and it's mostly because of their sloppy play with the basketball.
Kind of strange. They can't seem to find a grip on the ball, Clark. They're just giving up a lot of easy plays.
Granger for the 3. The shot no good. The Magic the other way. They've trailed by as many as 12. Some firepower, Clark and Steve, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air of confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, a little swagger here from this team. They're in a nice groove.
Outside Collison. Gilbert Arenas covering. Outside Collison. He kicks it to Granger. Over Arenas. And Granger with the basket on the assist by Collison. Collison's got 6 assists in the game. There's 38 seconds left to play here in the half. Hibbert on the double team. Outside Arenas. Richardson from outside the arc. That's good, and it's Arenas with the assist. Arenas has got 3 assists now in this one. Pacers leading by 5. And here's Hibbert. He's got 7. Deflects the pass. 6 to shoot. Collison kicks to Granger. Off the pick. And the jumper is good. Granger's got 12 points in the game. And so we conclude the first half. Pacers out in front, up by 7.
Time now for the HB halftime report this Tuesday. Let's get right into it. The Pacers are in the lead out in Indiana against the Magic. The shooting percentage they're sporting, straight up cartoonish right now. Defenders just don't know what to do. Paul George really playing effortlessly. 15 points, and it's been bombs away from outside. And the Magic are still in it, going all out. They just can't seem to get on a roll, can't get going, kind of stalled right from tip-off. Jameer Nelson's off to a rough start. It hasn't been pretty. He's only got one make from the field. Some fantastic play from these two. You can see it early on. Hopefully they can keep it going in the third. It's been fun. Thanks for tuning in here. Now we go back there. Kevin Harlan and the 2K Sports crew to start at the third quarter.
And the second half about to start here in just a few moments. Here's Collison.
Well, the Pacers have a reputation of being an up-tempo run-and-gun team, but last season they were just in the middle of the pack in fast break points. They were really more of a defensive club than anything.
Shot clock at 6. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Hansbrough misses. Steve, let me go back to the Pacers and give you a number. Touched on their defense. You did. It ranked 12th best in the league last season. That's a good place to build.
That's a nice place to build and a really nice improvement from the prior year. I like Granger as a two-way player. He's pretty good defensively when he's locked in. Collison is quick and can be a factor pressuring the ball. And the big guy, Roy Hibbert, made the greatest strides, being able to defend the paint without foul.
Pacers leading by 7. Outside Collison, and it's Nelson picking him up. Outside Collison. The feed now to Hansbrough. Was guarded by Howard. From deep three-point range, Jason Richardson pulls it in.
Well, they are getting out-rebounded here, and it's showing up on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, it's something they're going to have to improve upon if they're going to win this game.
Bass with it. He's against Collison. Hibbert against Nelson. With 1 on the clock. And that one's good. Nelson's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Magic. Here comes Darren Collison. He's got 10. And it's Nelson picking him up. Granger passes to Hansbrough. Let's go. A terrific shot on the turnaround. Hansbrough's got 12 in the game. Nelson outside. Picked up by Collison. Nelson kicks to Bass. Covered by Hibbert. Open look. It's rebounded by Indiana. Hansbrough's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Feeds it to George. It's rebounded by Bass. Bass has got 4 rebounds in this game.
Just 1 make and 4 tries here to start the second half.
Outside Collison. Granger outside. Hansbrough. The jump hook. That's good. Hansbrough's got 4 this quarter.
And across the board, his stats just amazing.
Well, he's monogrammed this game in a big way.
Now a timeout called by Orlando.
Well, you have to love what Tyler Hansbrough brought to the Pacers a season ago. The progress he made coming out of North Carolina was really impressive. He's a tough player, competes hard, and his offensive efficiency is impressive.
And I think I had the last laugh and I passed class. Told him I was done with it. Opposite of a dumpless, have fun with it. I'm a genius, so is that boom. Stay up, not turn up the raccoon. Rap soon, hop up you later. They send me back. And this track was just a favor that turned into a classic hater. I wrote rap, never mastered data. You take forever to make procrastinator. Fly, can't see. In the story of Victoria's Secret. conditions. Tuition, with the big dreams and wishes. Don't stop to listen, just keep trying to get.
Here's Nelson. He's got 6, and Granger picks him up defensively. Backing down is Howard. Post shot. Once again off the mark, Orlando. But he recovers it. Here is Collison. 10 points for him. Hansbrough working against Betts. The jump hook. Hansbrough misses. The Magic trailed by 7. Here's Richardson. He's got 9. And here's Turkoglu for 3. Gets it to go.
Not much resistance for him after that pick, Kevin. I mean, he had all sorts of space to hit the shot.
Now Collison. There's the dish to Hibbert. Working on Howard. 6 on the shot clock. From deep. And once again off the mark by Indiana. And here now the Magic. Just 4 points. That's all they've given up here in the second half. Pass working against Collison. Shoots it up. Again, the Magic score.
You know, he's got a lot of inches on the defender in that matchup, and he can just shoot right over the top of him without worrying about being bothered.
Now here's Hansbrough. He's got 14. Hibbert dishes to George. Pass to Granger. And it's Howard picking him up. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Take a look at what Granger's done. 12 points, and check out his steals. Very active hand.
But what impresses me most about his defense, Clark, is his anticipation. I mean, he is one step ahead of everybody else.
The free throw drops for Granger. Some changes for Indiana. Brandon Rush, he's checked in for Paul George. And George Hills subbed in for Darren Collison. has a lot of character here in the third period.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I love seeing this type of action. A competitive, compelling matchup. A lot of lead changes here so far.
Yeah, 6 in total, folks. So this has been a great game. Both teams playing hard and really competing out there.
Steve Clark talking about the Magic and why they couldn't generate more assists. What do you think?
You know, they didn't shoot the ball as well last year. They run their offense through Dwight Howard, and they like to surround him with three-point shooters. But the percentage dropped last year, and because they didn't make as many shots, obviously the assists went down. And we have seen the intensity pick up big time here in the second half.
Well, you can feel the desire from both teams that they really want to win this one.
Granger against Richardson. Clock at 6. Granger kicks to Hibbert. And he bangs it home with one hand. And it's a tie ball game.
Well, he brought the big man stuff that time.
And they wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah, not what the coach had in mind when he drew up the defensive game plan.
Hill against Nelson. He feeds it to Howard. Out of bounds. And they retain possession. Here is Bass. He's got 6. Clock is at 3. And there are the Magic with another bucket.
This is a very steady performance offensively for him.
So it's Indiana now. The most they've trailed by is 9 points. Here is Hill. And it's Nelson picking him up. Nelson against Hill. Passes it to George. Shot clock at 5. It's back to Hill. Over Nelson. And there are the Pacers with another bucket. Here is Nelson. He's got 9. He's picked up by Hill. On the wing, Jason Richardson. Back to Nelson. He's against Hill. With the fadeaway. Nelson, no luck.
Did you see his balance there, guys? Really faded away. I think that's why he missed.
And here is Hill. He has 6. Hansbrough against Nelson. Goes up. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
Everything is working for him right now. He's been a huge factor in the quarter.
It's stolen by Hansbrough. And it's Nelson picking him up. Hansbrough, the pass to Foster. The 10-footer. Hill, no good.
This is why you need size inside, the ability to contest shots and force misses.
Steve, that's exactly right. Even when you get in close, it's still a tough shot.
Here is Howard. 14 points for him. 6 to shoot.
afford to make mistakes like that here in a tight game.
For the Magic, Ryan Anderson, who's checked in for Bass. Turkoglu comes in for Quentin Richardson. And J.J. Redick is subbed in for Jason Richardson. Indiana leading. Outside Hill. And it's Nelson picking him up. Shoots it. The shot by George, no good. And turnovers, Clark and Steve, have been the issue for him.
Yeah, it sure has been the case. I mean, turnovers are like missing breakfast. Eventually, it's going to cost you.
Why does it always come back to food, Clark?
Once again off the mark, Orlando.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, a little frustrated now, shaking his head after that miss.
Nelson against Hansbrough. A baseline J. Shot no good. Good D by Nelson. And the Magic with possession. They've trailed by as many as 12. And here's Anderson for three. The rebound by Hansbrough.
He just showed you how to guard the three in textbook fashion. He got right up in his face and bothered the release. That is excellent D.
And that's not easy when you're talking about the opponent he's facing.
Rush dishes to Foster. 5 to shoot. Now here is George. Guarded closely.
He's their top rebounder. He's doing an excellent job on the glass today.
Boy, I tell you what, I love the effort he's shown on the boards today, Steve. It's been fantastic.
Here's Redick, defended by George. Turkoglu kicks to Howard. To tie. Shot is off. And it's the Pacers taking it the other way. Here's Redick. 6 points for him. Nelson outside. Hansbrough against Anderson. Shot to end this cold run. That's good. Anderson's got 7 points. And not even 3/4 out of the way. So many lead changes.
One heck of a game. I mean, guys, this has been outstanding in terms of the effort that both sides have been able to put on.
Looking over there at Steve. He's enjoying every second of it, Clark.
Yeah, me too.
Man, this has been great, guys. And the fans getting their money's worth here. Both teams just playing so hard out there.
The shot by George, no good.
Tell you what, things just aren't bouncing his way this quarter.
Rush with the steal.
That's like a Hail Mary pass in football. Too risky.
And he finishes nicely on the layup. And the Pacers lead by 2.
Well, using his height advantage against the much smaller man, that was the right play to make there.
On the wing, that's good from Howard on the assist by Nelson. Nelson's got 6 assists in the game. Third quarter comes to a close, and a battle brings it to a tie. Take a look at Tyler Hansbrough. He's been sensational.
Normally, he's not the guy at the top of the list who you'd think of when it comes to scoring, but he's had a great game here.
Yeah, you know what? He's kind of like found money. You know, when you sometimes stumble upon a few bucks in your pocket, you don't know where it came from, but you're glad to have it.
Back in a moment from Indianapolis. So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
And Kevin, for that great stretch the Pacers put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. Things started going their way in the second period, and that was clearly the turning point in this game. They got separation at that point, and now they'll try to close this thing out here in the fourth.
Great stuff as always, Doris. Thank you. Clark, that was the game's critical point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I really think it was. I mean, it really tipped things in their favor. No doubt about it.
And that's going to happen to you when you keep piling up those points and you get on a run like that.
Dishes it to Redick. Fires the three. That's in, coming off an assist from Arenas. Arenas has got 4 assists in the game. Pacers trail by 3. outside Collison. Kicks it to Foster. The pass to Dunleavy. Lets it go from deep. And it's Orlando with the rebound. Their biggest lead of the game was 9.
Solid advantage in the rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps, and they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
That's now 6 straight points off open threes. Get a hand up, fellas. Pay attention to the scouting report.
Well, you know how quickly things can go south when you start giving up wide open looks to this team.
Anderson against Granger. It's stolen by Bass.
Great steal in the paint. Thought he might get a layup out of it, and he wound up turning it over.
Well, that's the problem. You turn the ball over, and your defense just isn't set up at the other end.
And sometimes when it happens that way, it almost feels like a 4-point bucket.
Outside Collison. To halt the run, here's Granger. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison.
How about the body control, guys? He goes up strong, doesn't he?
A 3 from Anderson. And again, it's Orlando with a 3.
And everything's falling from the three-point line here in the second half.
And guys, you know, one fed into the other. I mean, now they're shooting with great confidence, and they're on a roll.
From about 19 feet. Another miss by Granger.
He just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. He's got to find something out there.
Redick for 3, and the basket good. And it's a 12-point Magic lead.
Three-pointers have been a huge problem for this defense.
Yeah, they've been a day late and $1 short. I mean, and it's costing them. You got to get there sooner.
And McRoberts kicks it to Foster. And taken away by Arenas. And here now the Magic. A 12-point game. And a miss there on the triple. Now Collison. And McRoberts kicks it to Foster. Turkoglu picks him up. This one for 3. Dunleavy's shot is off.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
You know, sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And in this one, they've done it, and it's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way.
The 3 ball. There's the bucket. Good. 12 points for Gilbert Arenas.
Boy, these threes are picking them apart. I mean, 4 out of the last 5 shots against them, all uncontested, and all are threes.
Yeah, the defense just looks uninterested right now. I mean, they're not making the effort to challenge these shots.
Granger from outside, and once again off the mark by Indiana.
Well, remember, he made 2 3-pointers in the first half, but has not been able to get anything to fall here in the second.
He kicks to Redick. From deep. Can't get it to go. Pacers trail by 15. They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Yeah. Steve, you like groove, don't you?
I do. I love groove, Kevin. And I love the attack mode this team is in, too. I mean, they're really getting into the paint. They're getting whatever they want offensively.
Outside Arenas. Picked up by Collison. Arenas passes to Bass. Now the feed to Anderson. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Anderson's got 6 in the quarter.
9 straight points for them off of wide open looks from deep. Something has to change for this D.
Yeah, they're just giving up too many easy shots out there. They've got to close out harder, get a hand up, make him put it on the floor.
Well, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So, shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
Feeds it to Redick. 6 on the shot clock. Over Dunleavy. The shot by Redick, no good. Pacers trail by 14. On the wing, Granger. Turkoglu picks him up. McRoberts commits the loose ball foul. That's his first foul. And some changes here for the Pacers. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Foster. Hansbrough comes in for Josh McRoberts. And George Hills subbed in for Mike Dunleavy. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Bass. Richardson comes in for Ryan Anderson. Jason Richardson, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Gilbert Arenas.
Hey, right there.
And here's Richardson outside. That's good. And the Magic lead by 17.
That's now a dozen straight points coming off wide open three-pointers.
You know what it looks like to me out there, guys? I mean, it looks like All-Star Weekend out there. We know how much defense is played there. It's actually defense during the All-Star Weekend, no D.
Here's Collison.
Nope, don't let him shoot that.
Granger against Richardson. Releases. Another miss by Granger.
I think it's going to be tough for them to trim this deficit if he keeps missing those kinds of shots, Kevin. I mean, they need his points.
Nelson against Hill. And stolen by Hibbert.
It's been their game. They've owned it and still wreaking a little havoc with their D.
Outside Hill. The three. Hedo Turkoglu with the rebound. Turkoglu's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Now, here is Nelson. Richardson, he's guarded by Hill. Richardson dishes to Nelson. Shot clock at 6. Picked up by Collison. With the clock winding down, and that one's good. Nelson's got 9 points here in the second half.
He's showing some signs of life here in the second after having a very forgettable first half.
Doubled by Howard. Hibbert, guarded by Nelson. They need this. Hansbrough, that's good.
That's 10 straight points on mid-range jump shots.
You know, to paraphrase a Bible verse that says, love covers over a multitude of sins, good shooting does the same thing in basketball.
Richardson up top. He's guarded by Hill. Three-pointer. Richardson, no luck.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
No, that's for sure, because this guy's too good of a shooter to miss that look consistently.
Boy, that's a tough one. But he did all he could there, using the leaner to get the shot off.
Now here is Howard.
Don't let Jason get open on the wing.
Shoots from the high post. And they're on the break. Nelson with the steal. Even numbers. Turkoglu outside. Collison against Nelson. Picked up by Collison. Goes up the baseline. It's a little short, but gets the friendly roll. Nelson's got 11 points here in just the second half. Pacers trail by 21. Collison kicks to Granger. Over Richardson. Danny Granger, the bucket on the assist by Collison. 18 points for Danny Granger.
That's 10 straight points on mid-range jump shots.
You know, to paraphrase a Bible verse that says, love covers over a multitude of sins, good shooting does the same thing in basketball.
And here's Turkoglu from the arc. Howard. And he makes good on the layup. And the Magic lead by 21.
And this is why they have the big lead. The rebounding has been dominant.
You know, guys, the +8 rebounding, I don't think it tells the whole story. I mean, they've been the more physical team from the outset. That's been the difference, their physicality.
Howard against Hibbert. Shot clock at 5. On the wing, Granger. Puts up a 3. They get it back. Richardson against Hill. Outside Collison. Tries again, and it's sent back by Howard.
And this is why they have the big lead. The rebounding has been dominant.
You know, guys, the +8 rebounding, I don't think it tells the whole story. I mean, they've been the more physical team from the outset. That's been the difference, their physicality.
Richardson, good.
What a great example of how to set a good pick. He really allowed his man a wide open look.
And the Pacers call time here.
You know, in Hito's first stint with the Magic, Kevin, he was pretty good. Provided a spark. He's not the same player he was then, but still is a guy who can give you a lift.
George, he's checked in for George Hill. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new grouping. Malik Allen's checked in for Howard. Clark comes in for Hedo Turkoglu. J.J. Redick's checked in for Jason Richardson. And Gilbert Arenas subbed in for Jameer Nelson. Here's Granger.
Get there, get there.
Richardson covering. Granger kicks to Collison. The dish to Hibbert. He's against Allen. Just 5 to shoot. Hibbert kicks to George. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession.
He was just a hair away from making that steal.
Steve, I like the instincts there. Terrific. To see the pass come in and knock it away, well done.
1:39 left in the fourth. Collison buries the easy one.
I'll tell you what, right now that mid-range jumper serving them well.
Yes, it is, guys. That's 6 of their last 10 points coming from that mid-range area.
Outside Arenas, picked up by Collison. Collison against Arenas. Lock at 6. Clark.
Turnover. Pacers ball.
Here's Collison. 1:16 left here in the fourth quarter. Backing down is Hibbert. Three-pointer, Granger, and that one's good. Granger's got 9 points here in the second half.
Yeah, he's always going to pull the trigger when you give him that kind of look.
Now, here's Richardson. Outside Arenas. 6 to shoot. Picked up by Collison. Redick with the 3. That's in, coming off an assist from Arenas.
That's probably going to do it. They are just putting this team away.
Steve, I thought they caught fire just at the right time, blowing this one wide open as the clock winds down.
Backing down is Hibbert. Now here's Collison. It's a look. Danny Granger, the bucket on the assist by Collison. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And they can just dribble the ball until the buzzer.
Yeah, exactly. They got to be happy with the outcome here.
Elated, you're right. Now here's Arenas. And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play, they showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Dwight Howard.